Hello, everybody. My name is Vino. I'm an artist, I'm an illustrator, and today I wanted to talk with all of you about this artist right here that I have in front of you. This is a piece by Simon Stalenhag. Simon is an extremely talented, extremely prolific digital painter, and in the digital painting community, he is easily one of the largest names and one of the most influential figures. For me personally, Simon Stalenhag is one of my favorite artists. There's just so much that he does that uh, he's just ridiculous. I don't even know how to tell you this. He has such a strong and consistent style and method of subject matter and things that he sees. And this is all stacked on top of some of the most ridiculously understated but powerful fundamentals in the art business in the modern era. He is just ridiculously good at painting. He has a beautiful, wonderful vision for the world. I believe he's from Sweden. And, he's just, there's nobody who does it like him. Today, the reason I'm talking with you is that I was Googling Simon Stalenhag because I was reviewing one of my old studies that I did of him. As you can see, the quality drop off is quite immense here. But I was trying to imitate a lot of his, work, like a moody sky and subject matter focus on the road and such. I was Googling some of his stuff just to, get some really quick reference material. And I noticed that right here, we've got this and this. So these are AI generations. You can see right here it says Simon Stalenhag style. So I went and I looked at what these websites were providing, and these are artificial intelligence prompts that are using Simon Stalenhag's work and his name like a term for them to generate art off of. And so you can see we've got a couple examples here. I got a couple more right here and right here, and you can see there's like a clear resemblance to Simon Stalenhag in this and this sort of subject matter. Stalenhag has a lot of landscapes that are populated with odd and interesting objects, right? He has a very specific taste in the industrial. He's just excellent at painting with these muted color palettes. Look at this tone shifting, my God. And we'll talk about some of his ridiculous techniques. But I wanted to talk today about basically how to tell the difference between Simon Stalenhag and these AI things. And then I want to talk a little bit about what this kind of means and why artists have been very loud and annoying and grating on social media lately. Kind of just always losing their marbles over AI and Pal World or whatever the fuck, So for starters, let's look at what this image does, and let's look at a comparable example. So in this image, we've got some grass in the foreground, we've got a machine, we got a few figures and robots looking things. So let's try to get some of this lined up. Do I have any grass here? I do. So let's look at how Simon renders grass, because this is something that Simon does that just absolutely blows my mind. I don't get it. That's the thing about a lot of big artists that they do. When you're studying drawing, it's easy to see this and to think, oh, you just make marks. You just make the brushstrokes look like grass. You just do it, obviously. You just swipe the pencil. Why would you not? That's got to be easy, right? And then you actually try to do it. And for some reason, when he does it, it works. And there's probably a reason why. I mean, there's absolutely a reason why. There's probably something that he's doing with his color choices. Maybe he's got a specific sort of brush, or he's running this over with a filter, or doing some technique in Photoshop to make this look as beautiful and as grass-like and as wispy as it does. But we zoom in and we can see every beautiful stroke that he's doing. He's not really hiding a lot of secrets here. What is hidden is just the reasons why it's working and why it's implemented in this way. And so we go and we cut back to the grass in this image, and what do we see? We see very blurry. You don't see the trails of Simon Stalenhag's brush. You don't see the trace of any brush. What you see is just sort of this vomit of hue and a few like changes in value of how bright or dark something is to represent strokes and blades of grass. But you don't really see that same control that we see here, that same like effortlessness. So let's look at something different. Let's take a look at the machine. So obviously right away, look at it. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, Here's the error, here is everything that's wrong with it. But it does have a sort of sci-fi look, right? There's a sort of like machine nature to it. I think somebody's mom could potentially mistake this for like, oh, an artist did that, some real wacky guy. And I wanted to really point out, I'm actually going to have to pause this here because I have to get a different example. Okay, sorry about that. I just had to go get some new material. But we're comparing like the mech design here, and I want to show like a comparable mech design that, I mean, it sort of just butchers the complete idea of what Simon Stalenhag does with his machine designs. Because when Simon takes a machine, he designs a thing that's supposed to actually make sense, right? Or at least it's supposed to have the aesthetic beauty of things that made sense in a sort of retro-futuristic way. It's a trademark of his style. The number one thing here is control. Everything is very, very, very intentional. Everything has a reason and a purpose. This as like an abstract design, all the shapes here, these are all composed in a very interesting way. And when you see like this fucking blob, it doesn't even fucking come close to like the beauty of the original thing. I think this example here gets a lot closer than this first AI example, right? I feel like this was maybe a couple years old. But this example is certainly kind of getting closer to what Simon Stalenhag is generally, his vibe is about, right? You've got like the very watery, the humid, cold atmosphere, foggy, very, very, very Simon Stalenhag. And you get to the machine, and it's sort of loosely symmetrical, You kind of get a general idea of what this thing's supposed to be doing. You have an actual relationship between objects in the foreground and objects in the background. There's a sort of like conversation happening in the piece, which is like very, very common to see in Simon Stalenhag's work. Like you've got like a figure here, you've got an object of interest here, right? You've got a figure here, an object here, and then you've got like this beautiful setup. Same thing here. Look at this, like the relationship between this blob and this figure. I mean, like, we can see, even though when Simon gets organic and starts blending organic ideas with machinery, there's just so much intention. And you can see his beautiful brushwork and the complete evidence of his mastery all over the place. And then you get here and you start like looking close at what this image is trying to do, and obviously it's AI. It's not, there's no face. Hooray. We all did it. Congratulations. But even like in the details, in the general idea of what this is supposed to rip from Simon Stalenhag, the things that, every AI bro is going to tell you is going to get aged out of the process. I look at this, and what do I see? I don't see any visible artist. I see like the general vibe of Simon Stalenhag, but I don't see Simon's brushwork. I don't even see an attempt at recreating that sort of feel in his work. I see nothing. So like when I zoom in here, I want you to take a close look. This is a flat section of a pretty basic object, right? But I want you to see how much work went into this, how much intention and design and craft went. Look at the changes in the values and the colors that happen just across the face of this very, very basic surface. It's mind-blowing. Okay? This is care. This is love. This is knowledge. This is just exceptional work. And it just drives me crazy because I come back over here and this is like a modern AI interpretation on Simon's work, and he is just nowhere to be found. But of course, that's just for me. You know, the viewer of the average work is not going to actually zoom in and look at the details. That's just sort of the unfortunate part about art, is that much like music, most people who listen to music listen to it in the background of all music in the world happening right now. Most of it is not being listened to actively, and most art is not being looked at actively. Alright, we're back. I'm in a different shirt because I have to re-record this section because my air conditioner turned on during the last part and it just ruined the audio. Anyways, I'm on this website called MidLibrary, and what MidLibrary is it's a compilation website. Basically, it gathers images that use certain keywords in AI art generators, right? So if an AI art generator, for example, has Simon Stalenhag, this website pulled AI art generations of Simon Stalenhag so that AI art users can put the keyword Simon Stalenhag into their, generator, basically be introduced to who Simon Stalenhag is, and or at least the very, essence of the style that the AI art thing ripped from his work, right? And so you scroll on this website, and what you see is it's just like a parade of artists and their styles that have been just torn from the artists and are now being displayed as aesthetics up for grabs for Midjourney and AI art users. So it's a wonderful thing to see this kind of bullshit happen. And yeah, a lot of people have been wondering. There's been like the Asmongold and the Powell World drama. People are kind of getting annoyed with artists recently. And I understand a little bit, seeing some of the teenagers start harassing people, but teenagers harass everybody. But really, this is just, look at this. It's just the most blatant entitlement. It's the complete destruction of an entire career field. It's so disrespectful. It is so disrespectful. I don't know, man. There's just not words that I can use, that I can even think of to describe what I feel when I look at this stuff, Just beyond disgust and disappointment in the world. It's just hard not to see the death of the illustration industry. People are going to keep drawing. That's something that people do. It's a tradition, right? People have kept up traditional ancient dances and religions and whatever. But the actual money that funded a lot of legendary illustrators and painters and artists, it's really tough to see that persisting. That's all I gotta say. Hope y'all have a great day, and take it easy.